What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the initial Suplex City Chat Live. I am your host with the most, Matty-G. We were supposed to have a full panel tonight, but real life matters. So we're going to do it anyways. If you'd like to get involved in this conversation, let me know. I can always send you the link to jump in. Like I said, am the host with the most, Matty-G. I am not by myself tonight, or this would be really boring. I've got the man to my right, Zaddeus, the Z-Man Smith. What is up, homie?
What's up, good sir? What's up, good people? How you doing, man?
Well, we're doing apparently. It's kind of this is gonna be kind of fun. So this week it was kind of short notice. We were supposed to have a few other people on there, but real life happened, like I said. So I'm gonna run through quickly through AEW what happened, kind of some major highlights of what happened at Revolution and what happened last night on Dynamite. I'll quickly bring up the Wednesday Night Wars, which definitely had kind of an interesting turn, considering that NXT had 2 cage matches last night. But we'll get into that. We're definitely going to discuss Matt Hardy because it looks like he is definitely going to AEW. So with that, Revolution came and gone last Saturday. I thought it was probably one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a long time. Omega and Kenny Omega and the Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks is probably, so far, in my opinion, match of the year. Hands down, it was given 5 stars by the Wrestling Sheet or the Wrestling Observer Radio. So that right there needs to tell you something. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega retained the tag team titles over the Young Bucks, which kind of to me so it was a little surprising. I thought they might have, given them the titles. And for weeks, since you don't really watch AEW, they've had Hangman Page and the Elite, which is the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Cody Rhodes. They're kind of faction, you can say. Hangman Page went to him and said, I kind of want to do my own thing, which I kind of can respect, sometime, but they kept going. And then they put the belts on Kenny and Omega, or Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, which I thought was interesting because then, you could have a heel turn, Hangman wants to be by himself, but him and Kenny are still buddies and Kenny is still loyal to the Bucks. Well, something that their storytelling has been awesome from day one. They've gone long-term storytelling, unlike, somebody I'm sure we'll talk about here in a little bit. Hangman Page does what he calls the buckshot lariat. He takes both hands over the rope, does a flip into the ring, and does basically, for lack of better terms, a clothesline. And after they won, Hangman got outside, got a beer, was hanging out, drinking with the crowd, which I think is really cool. He gets beer and, drinks with the crowd and has fun,
Like it reminds me of somebody.
Kind of, yeah, reminds me of somebody too. I mean, Mr. Attitude Era himself. Well, after he did it, Kenny was hanging out with the Bucks in the ring, and he did a move. The Bucks got outside of the ring, and it looked like he was going to hit him with the buckshot lariat, which just kind of confirmed. People thought he was going to turn heel right then and there. We were going to have like the tag team civil war. Well, and then Kenny looked at him and kind of just ever so slightly stepped back, like, what are you doing? And then Hangman turned around, sat on the rope, and waved him out. They celebrated up the ramp. And it was kind of neat to see the Young Bucks, who were like usually the baby face of baby faces, other than Cody in AEW, talk trash. He actually one of them looked at Hangman and said, you, until we brought you into the Bullet Club and to the Elite with us, you were just a jobber in Ring of Honor.
Ooh, that's hardcore. That's Cowboy.
That's cold-blooded as hell, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like that right there to me is the most heel thing you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Especially for a match full of faces, I'm guessing. So yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty heel like.
and they actually pulled some heel moves in it. Like uh, Kenny on Dynamite the Wednesday before had a 30-minute Iron Man match against the Bastard Pac or Neville in WWE. And that went to overtime. They both got one apiece, and it went to overtime. So Kenny's taped up. He was nursing an injury to his
Mm-hmm.
shoulder, and they actually ripped the tape off and targeted that shoulder. So it was kind of cool to see just a straight up Buck heel turn for at least the match. After it was over, they're like, I'm sorry, it was just us doing us. We were
Mm-hmm.
just trying to win this, because most people thought from day one they were going to put those titles on, the owners of the company. Well,
Yeah.
they didn't. So that was kind of just their storytelling has been really exciting. Their women's division is starting to kind of pick up pace.
Okay, that's good.
Because you saw online everybody's complaining that for like the first 3 or 4 months their women's champion wasn't even there.
Mm-hmm. Because it's Nyla Rose, right?
Now it's
Is
Nyla
she?
Rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Their initial champion had bookings and stuff in Japan because she's from Stardom originally.
Okay.
So she lost it to Nyla Rose, who is a monster among women.
Mm-hmm.
So that's starting to pick up storyline. Uh, and then, Orange Cassidy. I don't know if you know Orange Cassidy. If you
No.
don't, you really need to look into this guy because he's really talented.
Mm-hmm.
They call him the king of sloth style for a reason.
The King of what?
Sloth style, like very slow moving.
Really? Okay, that's something you don't hear about, like when it comes to wrestling. I guess slow moving thing, but okay.
Um, and like when he kicks you, it's barely tapping. So it's very soft. And usually with his gimmick, you had to be built really slow and carefully.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden they said he's going to fight. And if you've watched him in the indies, he can
Mm.
wrestle. And most of the time he wrestles with his hands in his pockets.
Really? Oh, that's a unique gimmick right there.
I gave the match between him and Pac a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. It was fun. It was entertaining. And he is over.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the most over in AEW.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got to check this guy out. The name sounds. I will say, admit the name sounds weird as hell, but I gotta check it out. If he's the most over guy in that company that also has some verified stars, he's worth the look.
And the funny thing about it is like most of the time he catches an ass whooping, but
Mm-hmm.
he's so over. It's great. Um, and then we'll just jump to the main event. Uh, Chris Jericho, the Painmaker himself, and John Moxley, Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
A few months leading up to this, Jericho, because if you see pictures of him online, even on the Jericho cruise and everything, Mox was wearing an eye patch because Jericho took a spike off of his jacket and stabbed him in the eye.
I think I heard about that. That yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, he took it like this and just punched him right in the eye.
Hmm.
So for weeks, for a while, he's been wearing an eye patch, and then halfway through the match, he takes the eye patch off because they're like, he can't see. He's gotten beaten. Jericho had taken and gouged out the other eye,
Mm-hmm.
and you thought Mox was done. He's swinging wildly, he's just trying to hit whatever. And Mox takes the eye patch off to reveal he's got both eyes. Hits basically in WWE what was called the Dirty Deeds. Now he calls it the Paradigm Shift for the 1, 2, 3. So Mox is champ. I think it was a good move. His band has tour dates coming up, but they're only Thursday through Monday, so he's got Tuesday, Wednesdays off. But it hasn't come out yet that the Swimmer tour that's coming up is in the UK. So getting back here once a week for Dynamite would be hard. So it makes sense. So it makes sense why they dropped the title to him. So kind of jumping forward a little bit to the Wednesday Night Wars, NXT had two cage matches this week, and they were both just extremely well done.
I agree. I definitely agree, especially the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one was great. I like AEW's rules on it, especially their rules are it's by pinfall or submission only. So these two are stuck. You have to fight until the other person's out. But the ratings came in for this week. AEW did 960,000 viewers to NXT 718. So that's 10 weeks in a row. AEW has won the Wednesday Night War.
Yeah.
And this wasn't even their best show, which I love. The fact that it just shows that almost 1.6 million people are watching wrestling on Wednesday nights.
Very true. And that's the most important part about all this right here. Like, it's brought back excitement to the wrestling industry. AEW has definitely done that.
Exactly. And the fact that they're both succeeding, I mean, you can't, that's just who watched them live. Like I watch AEW live and I'll watch NXT Thursday morning because it comes up on Hulu, which cuts out all the commercials. It makes it about an hour and 20 minutes. It's great. So my kid and I will get up and watch that before he goes to school Thursday morning. we watch wrestling 6 times a week. So, Matt Hardy's contract with WWE has expired.
I remember seeing the video. I think it was Monday night, or it was either Sunday or Monday night, where he literally went on YouTube explaining that my contract is expired. I think it was March 2nd that he was no longer.
It was Monday morning. It came on Monday morning at like 12:05 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was still Sunday for me, but it was Monday for him. That's true.
Yeah. Anyways, and then he said his contract's up. Papa West chiming in the chat here. Yay, WWE on Hulu. But yeah, like you were saying, he came on. He says he's going to watch everything and he's going to weigh out his options to keep an eye out for Free the Delete, which if you haven't watched that series on his YouTube channel, I think it's Matt Hardy Brand is the name of his channel.
Yeah.
Really need to go back and watch it. It's great. Because it's all broken Matt Hardy. Because you can just see him struggling. He says to keep an eye out for Wednesday's Free the Delete. It was a part 1, a part 2 episode. So then jump to Tuesday night to Being the Elite, which I love what AEW does with their YouTube presence.
Yeah,
dark on Tuesdays, which is cool. So you get to see every match wrestled in AEW.
Oh, yeah, that's a very smart idea.
On Instagram, Matt posted a pic of him watching Dynamite. That's fantastic. I don't really use Instagram much because my kid seems to find things that he shouldn't. Well, at the end of Being the Elite, the Bucks are getting ready to come home for a few days, and one of them gets a phone call, and he goes, "Okay, we're going to the airport right now. We'll get on a plane. We'll go. We were going to California, but we'll be there. And he looks at him and says, or looks at the other and says, we got to go. And he's like, but I wanted to go home. And he's like, well, deal with it. We got to go. So he jumps, they leave, and then you switch to Free the Delete. And he's talking, and he's saying that there was only one group that could really beat this power from him. And if you watch Ring of Honor, that happened with the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's saying, you see this car pulling up. You don't see who it is. It's a black SUV. The Hardy compound gates open. And before he gets to that, he's saying, you need to come to the Hardy compound. This is coming. You need to help me, etc. And as he's talking to the camera, the car pulls up, and the camera pans behind him, and the doors open, and out come the Bucks. And he goes, the Bucks of Youth, you've come. And they're like, well, yeah, Matt, you called. And that's where it ends. So, do you think it's possible? I know watching the internet, you don't really watch AEW, but you've seen the internet. Do you think it's possible that he's going to be the leader of the Dark Order?
I think it's 100% possible that I'll say 99% possible, just because there's always a wrench that can be thrown in the plans. I remember just watching snippets from the other week that Raven was on the episode of AEW Dynamite. I think just as kind of like a red herring.
Yeah, but just sitting in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. I think the leader's called the Exalted One, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's correct.
It would make complete sense if Broken Matt Hardy, or if Matt comes up with some other gimmick and becomes the leader of the Dark Order. Because and personally, I think that would make a major shift to WWE fans, because I think people who knew what Matt was doing before him and Jeff came back a couple years ago, they were very interested in like Broken Matt Hardy possibly being on WWE TV. But then we got the Woken One, which was not a horrible gimmick, but he wasn't Broken Matt Hardy at all. So no. I think by him coming to going, if he actually did go to AEW, which it looks like he will be, that will bring more viewers from WWE over to AEW, myself included.
I agree. And the cool thing about it is Mox has gone on the interviews. He was on the Talk is Jericho podcast, and he was on the AEW podcast itself, and he literally said that, WWE was giving him promos like the shot in the ass because people were being sick. Were making him sick, or they were giving him, these bad promos, and it's kind of like, that's terrible. But with, AEW, they're saying, hit this bullet point, however you want to do it, hit it. And I mean, look at, they were setting up the basically, unsanctioned wrestling. The unsanctioned match between Mox and Kenny Omega, he picked him up and paradigm shifted him through a glass table.
I did see it. That stuff looked, because I'm not sure I'm concussing now, but that looked painful as anything. Like it was on episode of Dynamite, or no, wait, it wasn't on Dynamite. Was it on at one of the pay-per-views? Him paradigm shifting him through the table was on Dynamite, but the match itself was on a pay-per-view. It was violent and gory, and Jesus. I mean, they suplexed each other into what looks like a trampoline frame full of barbed wire. Oh, my back just hurts by hearing you say that. Oh.
So they let them have creative freedom. I think Jeff Hardy will jump ship, but unfortunately, his contract got extended because of taking time off. But I think Jeff Hardy eventually will join them. And then what's the likelihood that he throws his back out or some injury his first time he got AEW? I don't think it'll happen.
I hope not.
I don't think so. Even if he did, though, being the Exalted One, he will still be there. He could still be in the background because Evil Uno and the other guy we're Super Smash Bros in a different company, and they can really wrestle if they give them the time. Those two, they can. The Dark Order guys can really wrestle. So I'm giving them an Orange Cassidy thumbs up on that one.
But you know, he does bring up a good point because I do wonder how much more wrestling Matt has to do like in his life. Because I remember on the announcement video that he did this past week, he mentioned that he wanted more of like his own creative freedom in his hands now. So I feel like he's gonna be wrestling AEW, but I feel like the thing that he's gonna really love, I believe by him being the Exalted One is he's gonna be more of a figurehead. And yeah, he'll wrestle now and then, but I feel like he'll want to bring people along with him and like put people in the right places.
I think so too. Well, look at like we were just talking about Mox a few minutes ago. He's also the New Japan United States champion as well as the AEW champion. Mox has got a couple of indie matches coming up. Yes, Subrath, undoubtedly Orange can wrestle. I 100% agree with that. If you haven't looked him up, Orange Cassidy and Joey Janela did a awesome match in the Indies where Joey Janela came out dressed up like Orange Cassidy. It's hysterical. The full match is free on YouTube, so definitely check that out. They do like Chris Statlander. She was an indie wrestler. There's been times that she's had to be scheduled for a match, but then they realized that she was scheduled at an indie show and say, go ahead and do that. You had that booked first, and we'll make it up.
That's good.
So I give them much credit for that. Like at one time, the women's champion, she had stuff in Stardom, so she couldn't compete. That's where a lot of people put the pressure on AEW and the women's division was. So I give them credit for allowing their people, just like Lance Archer. He just signed with AEW. Him and Moxley had a brutal. It was basically a no DQ falls count anywhere match for the U.S. title, and I can't wait to see these two go again. Jumping into AEW or New Japan real quick. How do you feel about them canceling all shows because of the coronavirus?
Man, I heard about it, and I think it sucks for like as the fan wise, but it's definitely the best thing to do in regards to like the talent and for the people. And I'll just say I don't think they'll be the only ones. I really don't.
Well, yeah, you say that. It's kind of interesting. They're canceling music festivals now because of it. Like the Ultra Music Festival in Miami. One of the biggest electronic dance music festivals in the world canceled because of the coronavirus. Electric Daisy Carnival in
California. Is it California?
In Vegas. It's in Vegas now, but yeah, same idea. They moved it from the Coliseum to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Same thing. They're talking about doing it with WrestleMania, but last I heard recently that they're going to go ahead, but they're going to have people there checking people just in case. So if they think you've got it, you're gone.
Yeah, which I mean, it's definitely the safest. It's definitely the safer thing to do. If you can find some way to put it on in a safe manner, okay. But Vince definitely needs to think about the talent, his family, and everybody, all the fans that would still be coming to WrestleMania. I know it'll probably be a major hit, but
yeah,
safety first.
Yeah, so you hire people that know what they're looking for to stand at the door. It's not that hard. They're still letting flights come in from Asia where it started. So if we can do that, I'm sure we can figure it out there. So we've covered all of our side conversation. Let's jump into this head first. Did you watch Super Showdown? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, I saw it.
And it's pretty sad. There was a match on there that I really enjoyed for what it was, and it was the Street Profits, Rollins and Murphy. I kind of like that. Oh, hold on. Subrath coming in with a big one. He senses something coming together between Ring of Honor, New Japan, and AEW coexisting. Jeff Cobb, Lance Archer, and Kenta might show up along with the Bullet Club on AEW. That would be fantastic.
That sounds great.
It's funny he brought that up because at one time it was rumored that the villain Marty Scurll was going to be the leader of
the Dark Order.
The Dark Order. They had actually had it set up that the last Dynamite of 2019, he was going to be revealed in his hometown as the leader.
Mm-hmm.
But he got it kind of turned out that when Ring of Honor offered him probably the biggest contract in Ring of Honor history and a creative like piece of the pie, that the Bucks told him to stay. So that right there can create, that one creatives working together. So, and Ring of Honor and New Japan are already coexisting. So I don't see why that couldn't happen.
That'd be interesting. It'll be almost like a mega conglomerate of wrestling factions right there coming together.
It would be. I mean, could you imagine Bullet Club? Because they've got something coming up called Blood and Guts, which we'll discuss next week on the show. Because basically, what I think it's going to be is it's going to be AEW's version of War Games.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that they're going to have a closed roof. So it's going to be more Hell in a Cell meets War Games.
Which would be cool because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's what WCW used to be. Like, it used to be actually like 3 Hell in a Cell cages that were together in the ring.
It was. So,
yeah.
And Tony Khan has modeled AEW off of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what he's done. He's taken the best things, because I grew up during the Wednesday Night War. I was alive for that, and Jesus, why can I think of it? The Attitude Era into the Ruthless Aggression Era. Mm-hmm. And now we're going into the PG era with my kid.
Understandable. I mean, I was the same way. I was probably more WCW back then than I was WWE. It wasn't until almost pretty much the finger poke of doom, which made me start switching. Like, I can't believe he just did that, because I was a massive NWO Red and Black stan until Nash did that. I'm like, are you serious?
Too sweet.
You're gonna give the belt to that guy? Like, man, that sucks. So yeah.
Which it's funny you brought that up, because that's gonna definitely bring up something I want to discuss a little later. The possibility. So, like I said, I enjoyed the Street Profits and Rollins and Murphy because it continued the storyline of Murphy really can't win without Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And
it really sorry, go ahead.
And it really showed that the Street Profits can wrestle.
Mm-hmm. And I really like the Street Profits as a group right now. Like, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later. But I think they're great tag team technicians, and this was a good match. But it also makes me wonder, how long is I almost called him Buddy Murphy. How long is Murphy's role in the group? These Monday night disciples and stuff, apostles. How long is he going to be a part of that? I wonder.
I think that's what's going to be interesting about something we're definitely going to discuss later.
Okay.
So we both knew that Brock was going to beat poor little Ricochet.
R.I.P. Ricochet.
But yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think he's getting buried now? But I guess
yes, I do. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, but I understand why Vince doesn't like it. Like, because it's a guy that's doing flippity doo-dahs and stuff all around, who's actually
he's not a beefcake. He's not a
exactly,
beefcake.
Which irritates me to hell. So if that's the case, once his contract ends, jump ship because that's ridiculous. They're already doing that to Cedric Alexander, who we're not. But Cedric Alexander and I believe somebody else is just and probably they kept Rusev on TV for weeks and stuff, but it's just ridiculous.
I think we're gonna find Rusev popping up, and my guess would be New Japan or AEW here shortly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I think his contract's gonna expire and he's gonna go, which is gonna break. Oh, hold on, let's see. Project
This is true.
That is very true. I feel Oh,
it wasn't.
And then Subrath coming in again. First,
exactly.
Leave that stupid alone because we'll get to that in a minute. Because before we get to Elimination Chamber, I do want to discuss a little bit of Raw because there's a couple of things that stood out. So yeah, I kind of figured that he was going to beat him. I didn't think he was going to destroy him.
90 seconds, I think it was. I think 90 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't quicker than that.
And then they did the same thing to him that they did to Kofi.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad because I love Kofi in my house. To my kid, Kofi's a god. Like my son's a dark. My son's a dark-skinned person, so
wait, the dominant.
Yeah,
that's very true. That was child abuse, pretty much. I mean, I guess it wasn't his child, but still.
Okay.
Definitely justice for Kofi.
This episode is hashtag justice for Kofi sponsored. But I understand why they did it because they couldn't have Ricochet and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania just doesn't line up. Because after Royal Rumble, when he Claymore kicked him over the ring, that was it.
It was a beautiful moment. RP Kobe, man, for now at least. Definitely for now. Hopefully, maybe in the future.
Yeah, I think he'll be back. And then the main event, I was extremely mad when this happened. I did not expect this to happen. I thought we were gonna. I hate to say it, but I thought we were gonna see Roman versus Fiend at WrestleMania, or Fiend versus Cena for Cena's 17th championship. But after giving it some thought, I understand why they did it. Because the belt was keeping the Fiend in a bubble.
100% agree with you right there.
And when you go back and watch it with that thought in mind, you give the Fiend, because he didn't really fight. If you notice, he didn't fight much.
Yeah.
He just kind of let Goldberg beat him. He let him beat him. He can have the title. I can go back to taking out people from my past.
Which makes sense. That's kind of how he was doing to begin with. That's what made us start loving the Fiend, by him popping up like Mick Foley when he took out Mick Foley and other legends like that. That was the appeal of the Fiend.
And I don't like the way they set up the WrestleMania match where the Fiend just comes out and points to the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah,
but it makes sense because right now maybe the Fiend is upset for what happened. We'll find out tomorrow's Firefly Funhouse, and we will 100% be talking about that next week.
And I believe the main reason why I'm not mad about the Fiend losing his losing to Goldberg, I'm mad that he lost to Goldberg, but I'm not mad that he lost the title. It's pretty much because I don't think he should have ever had the title in the first place. The only reason why I think the Fiend got the championship was for that horrendous Hell in a Cell match from last year. They had to do something to alleviate that.
And what they were trying to do is because it had worked with, oh crap, what can I think of his name? I want to say Prince Devitt, but that's not
Oh
his
yeah,
name.
Finn Balor.
There you go, Finn Balor.
Well,
I was like, yes. What he did in Finn when he attacked Finn Balor, he brought him back to the Prince Devitt character, the Bullet Club character, and they went, well, if the Fiend beats him like he did him, we can make him the Monday Night Messiah, which I like that character. I will
I
be,
do too. It's so ridiculous. I love it.
and I like the fact that he is just healing it up, and he was getting booed. Now we take, um, yes, I do.
Yeah, it was. It was really ridiculous. I remember watching it. Nobody liked that Hell in a Cell match. Nobody.
Yeah, because you can't see it. The red lights on the red cage. They said it was hard, which I like the fact they've stopped that because it on TV, on my nice beautiful TV, it's still hard to watch. Let alone
Yeah.
those two guys a foot from each other trying to work. So I'm glad they decided to stop that. But what it does though is Goldberg, if they had the Fiend versus Roman Reigns at Mania, which was what the card was going to be,
Mhm.
and Roman beat the Fiend, Roman was going to get booed out of the building again.
That's true. He was.
At in his home, he's from Pensacola, Florida,
Mhm.
which Tampa Bay and Pensacola, I think is close, but don't quote me here. I don't know.
It's same state though. He's a state boy. He's gonna be a state boy when they go to WrestleMania. So
Right, and if they had him, beat the Fiend, he was going to get booed. This
mhm.
way, he beats Goldberg, who already looks like an asshole because he beat the Fiend.
Mhm.
He's gonna be able. I think they should have that match maybe first.
Yeah, I
Goldberg
agree.
versus Roman. They should have that first, so he can have his WrestleMania moment. He can have the belt, point at the sign. The hometown fans can go bananas, kick the
Mhm.
show off.
Yeah,
Uh,
it should be like the Seth Brock match from last year, pretty much.
exactly. But I
Mhm.
think they should have time to work. I
Oh,
mean,
good point.
Goldberg can't work that well, but I think it'll be just like AJ Styles and Undertaker. I don't think that Undertaker could work that long, but with
Mhm.
the right person, they can work.
Mhm. Agree.
That goes back to Super Showdown. Uh, what did you think of the Two Wig Mountain Trophy tournament gauntlet?
I I love our truth.
I
I hate the people that he had to beat in this match, but I kind of don't take this show too seriously anyway.
it's a
So to have
glorified it's a glorified house show.
exactly, so to see our truth do that well in that match is in ridiculous ways. I can't remember, was it Bobby? No, it was Andrade. They hit in the head. They hit the heads, and he covered them. Like, this is
He
ridiculous.
he faints and lands on top of him. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I love R-Truth. I know he can wrestle. I actually watched the 24 documentary afterward with him. It was great,
Mm.
touching. R-Truth, he's another one in my household that's a big name. My kid loved. Um,
He's a loyal WWE person too. Loyal, 100%. I remember him when he was Ron Killings, wrestling with Road Dogg, Jesse James, and stuff like that. So,
that
or
was
no,
great.
K
And
Quick, K Quick. That's what it was.
okay, quick. There you go. That a boy. And yes, absolutely. R-Truth is a national treasure. You're
Mhm.
damn right he is. Say what's up.
What's up?
Exactly. Apparently Papa West hated the tournament. I didn't like the way it ended, but I understand why they did it.
Yeah, we're never gonna see that trophy again. At all.
um I like the fact that R-Truth got a shining moment. Like,
Mhm.
because once him and Carmella kind of fell out, I like what they did with the whole 24/7 title when he first had it, because
Mhm.
it was more of a comedy thing.
Mhm.
It reminded me of the original hardcore title.
Yeah, very true. And
Uh,
I hate that it's kind of falling to the wayside a little bit because it just has it doesn't have the same appeal as it did back. I mean, I think it was pretty much before the brand split happened. It was a lot. It was a lot more prestigious then, which is I'd say
Yeah,
24/7.
which we do have to give credit to Archer. He is the 29-time 24/7 champion. I did look that up. I did fact check that before we started.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think just the whole kind of I'm gonna fall on top of him and pin him for 3, or he's gonna get disqualified for hitting me with it. And then we get to uh, AJ Styles. AJ Styles just beats the living shit out of him, which he looked white to begin with. He looked tired. He looked out of it. He couldn't keep himself going, which I
Mm-hmm.
have to. So it made sense. And then, I mean, they'd already said the Undertaker was there. And the rumor was it was going to be him versus AJ at Mania, anyways. So
Yeah,
when I saw Rey Mysterio getting his ass whooped by the rest of the OC,
yeah,
WWE's version of the Bullet Club, which I like. I like the fact that they've kind of given the heels their own faction.
yeah. I do too. Even though I miss AJ's music, I
I
100% miss AJ's music.
I do too, but I think that we may see Finn Balor join them eventually,
Oh, that'd be nice.
and maybe have the Bullet Club run both Raw
Yeah,
and
NST. That'd be nice.
have them, jump back and forth.
That'd
So
be very nice.
it would be interesting because then we could have the OC versus the Undisputed Era,
Yeah.
even in a War Games match, which would be cool as hell.
Mm. I love the UE, but that would be great to see.
They're kind of losing their steam. I think we may be on the verge of seeing a UE breakup.
I semi agree with you in regards to one certain member, but yeah, it's Righty Strong. So yeah, I think he's on his way out.
I do too, and I think I'd like to see him have a feud with Velveteen Dream without UE in his corner. Just the two of them go back and forth.
And see,
But
see who's the better
but
man
the
there.
problem is uh I don't see that happening though because he's not really good on the mic.
Yeah, and if you saw, he doesn't cut the best promos.
Yeah, so needless to say, um oh, and then Jacob thinks that Adam Cole will move up to the main roster. I hope he doesn't because I think he'd probably get buried. He's not. I think if he was on SmackDown, he would be good.
Yeah,
He
which
would be
show would
better.
be better for him?
I would rather see him if he's going to go to the main roster, him go to SmackDown because Heyman. I mean, I think Cole versus Ricochet could be a 5-star match.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rather see like a heel version of Cole, which he already is, go towards Roman.
That would be nice. Even though also just a match I think would be good on like just star power. Because I'm picturing in my head now Adam Cole versus the Miz. Like on Adam Cole is on the high real one. Oh, wait,
Ooh,
Miz TV one episode just to
ooh,
see the Miz get outshined by somebody else. Like
oh!
I
I'd
would just
like
hope
that.
people would say "Bay Bay" whenever he throws up his hands like
I'd
on Miz
love to
TV.
see that. That would be good. Or him versus Sami Zayn or Shinsuke Nakamura.
I, I
So
wish.
like I said, I think he would do better on SmackDown than Raw.
That's true. There's a
Um.
lot more potential.
Oh. 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 I like that.
That would be great. I mean, I love that man too. Daniel Bryan, I love that man so right now. But
And keep Daniel Bryan in the back of your head because I've got a question when we get to the chamber to ask about. So needless to say, so it kind of makes sense, and then we could just have the Fiend taking on Cena to make up for what happened at I think WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, because 31 Bray Wyatt lost to. Wait, no, it was WrestleMania 30, I think.
But
Where
but where he should have kept the title, but they gave it to Super Cena. So that
oh
goes
yeah,
that goes back to Bray taking out people from his past. I like that idea.
Mhm.
Roman's gonna have his moment at Mania. Drew's gonna have. I think they're gonna close the show with that beautiful camera angle like they had of Kofi, looking up at the sign pointing to WrestleMania and the fireworks going off.
Mhm. And I think the best moment for Drew was that moment when he won the Royal Rumble, and I feel like any character he had, like he was supposed to be, just kind of broke down the moment because you could see him feel so emotional when he won the Royal Rumble. You saw him want to cry, but he said, "Okay, I'm on TV. Let me sub back into tears real quick." That
Yeah,
was a that
and
was a emotional moment.
I love the face turn. I personally, a lot of people don't like it. I do.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
I
it.
100% agree.
And I think he makes it that whole Claymore count at 1, 2, 3, boom,
Yeah,
and then the three Claymores to Brock Lesnar on Monday night was beautiful,
that
and
it was great.
seeing Brock sell it was great. He sold just like he did at Mania at Royal Rumble. He is selling that Claymore kick, so you know that's what's going to happen. He's going to Claymore kick him a few times, and that's going to be it. 1, 2, 3, and that's game.
Hmm. And see, that's why
Um,
I can't. That's why I can't hate Brock Lesnar for like beating Kofi and beating Ricochet stuff. Because there's people he's willing to work with and stuff like that. I just think that the higher ups are telling him go out and squash these guys like
yep.
Bugs and stuff like that. I
All
think
right.
Brock is willing to play, but yeah.
All right. So let's jump to and then yep, and going after Randy after the show. Oh.
Oh, I didn't see that. I did not know that. I need to go watch some behind the scenes stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
'cause I don't remember that, but I do love. Okay, let's wrap up the week in wrestling. What did you think of the RKO to Beth Phoenix?
I first of all, I knew it was gonna happen. And I loved it. I mean, it may make me sound like a bad guy, but I loved it. I love this entire feud right now because I mean, I love Randy's explanation to Bev, and like I love him more than you do. I'm like, wow, Randy, really, that's what you're
He
going with?
he is healing it up, and it is great. I
He
love it.
really is. But
Um,
you know what? They can never. Vince McMahon, Triple H, Paul Heyman. If somebody's watching this by some chance, you can never make Randy Orton a face again. After this moment, we saw him become a face. He playing Stephanie a long time ago. He cannot go back to being a face now. One way,
okay,
no way, no how.
so apparently the dark match was Eric Rowan and Drew McIntyre, but he called for Randy Orton.
Okay,
Apparently I haven't seen that yet, but I will have to
I'm gonna go
look that
find
up.
it. Yeah.
Well, okay, so basically we're both in agreement that we're gonna see Edge versus Orton at Mania.
Mhm.
Now
100% agree.
let's do some predictions for the chamber. Subra's throwing this one out for it first. Do we see Edge show up at the elimination chamber? I say no.
I don't
I don't
think. I don't
I don't
think
see
so. Not
I
Elimination Chamber.
because we're still over 30, I think 30 days till WrestleMania, so I think we'll see him maybe in a week or two, maybe not the weekend after Chamber because I believe Brock Lesnar's due there that night. I know somebody big is due there at that point. So I think they'll wait a week or so
Oh yeah,
and then they'll bring him back, and then he'll go after him because he went. Look, you took me out. You took out. Oh, well, never mind. So he didn't mean that. He meant that.
oh, yeah.
And I have one straight up answer to that.
I'd be
Uh,
one. I'd be super surprised about that, but
no,
yeah, I think
no,
it's gonna happen.
no, I don't. Orton's just repeating what he did a few years ago when he punted Stephanie, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. The second coming of the Legend Killer.
Exactly.
I think that's exactly what they're leaning towards, and I like the idea. I personally like the idea.
And you know who I think Randy should go after next? And yes, I know we've seen the match hundreds of times. I like Randy Orton more than John Cena. There, I say it. I want Randy Orton. I would love for Randy to end John's career. Period.
I think that could be. I think that could be on the cards. So, all right, let's jump into the Elimination Chamber. I think this is going to be on the pre-show, Humberto Carrillo and Andrade for the U.S. title.
This one's hard because
I don't. I think this is going to be easy after his 30-day suspension. I think Andrade drops the title to Humberto.
You think so? I would be surprised. I would like Humberto to win, but I can see Andrade. I really can. Especially, I wonder will Angel Garza be out there on his? Will Angel Garza be by his side with Zelina, of course?
I think so. Jacob thinks Humberto takes it. I think it could be, and I think they need to give him time to work. Maybe not a 30-minute match, but a 10 or 15-minute match. This could be really good. I think Zelina Vega needs to be thrown out because she's going to have her shenanigans going on. I think they need to throw her out right off the bat. Let that handle so they can have their match. I think Humberto wins, and then at the pre-show for Mania, we see the rematch.
Very possible. I just worry about Humberto because I'm worried that Grandmaster Vince is looking at him with those same Cedric and Ricochet eyes. But hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Okay, then if he retains, how about this? How about Rey Mysterio versus Andrade at Mania?
I mean, it's possible, but we've seen it before. But if they do it at Mania, that needs to be like a great grandstanding match, like the finale.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think they should do it on the pre-show because they're already looking at like 16 matches for Mania.
It's gonna be so long.
Ouch.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, boy.
You're fired.
Oh, don't turn this in card. Don't do that to him.
No more rematches. Okay. This one I'm kind of curious about because I think it's going to be pretty self-explanatory, but we've got a no DQ match between Styles and Aleister Black.
Yeah, it's most likely AJ Styles, I think. Most likely, I would like to see Aleister win, and maybe it'll surprise me. But if Aleister Black wins, I think it's going to be because AJ's probably setting up for like the phenomenal forearm or something, and then you hear the gong or something.
So wait, you didn't tell me. Are you taking I got to get back to that last question. Are you taking Humberto or Andrade to win the U.S. title?
I'll take Andrade.
Okay.
I'll take Andrade to retain.
I see. I'm gonna go Carrillo just in case. I like that idea. Let's get Ricochet back in the U.S. Championship. Let the smaller guys work because Ricochet could do really good right here. I like that idea. So I agree. I think Aleister Black wins this match because it sets up them at Mania.
I think
the
so
Undertaker
too.
comes out. Maybe what'll happen is the rest of the OC will come out, get involved, start beating Aleister down. Then you'll hear it. The lights will go out. The gong, and the Undertaker the lights will come back up. The Undertaker will be there, chokeslam all of them, and call it. Subrath also has Humberto Carrillo. I like Aleister winning, even if it's by shenanigans. I have Aleister winning this. What about you?
I still do. I wouldn't be surprised if AJ won. I think Aleister will win pretty much how Jacob was saying it. Like it's gonna be Undertaker. I don't even think he'll necessarily show up, but I think the club or Carl, the Good Brothers will be so focused on trying to keep the Undertaker from going out. AJ's gonna be standing for that phenomenal form. He's gonna jump, but Brett match is gonna hit just like that. I bet, and that'll be it. Because that is a great move.
I love that move, and I hope he hits him with it a couple of times.
Yeah.
We both know AJ Styles can sell. Like when he got chokeslammed by the Undertaker at Super Showdown, that was great. All right, so we both have Aleister Black winning this one. This one's kind of interesting. We've got the Raw Tag Team titles, the Street Profits, and Rollins and Murphy.
I really, really hope the Street Profits retain the title. I don't need them to lose this title 6 days after winning. I will be so pissed. So I'm gonna say the Street Profits win.
I agree with that. And then maybe afterward, the rest of the disciples show up to get involved, and we have maybe the Viking Raiders come out. We have the Street Profits versus Rollins and Murphy versus the Viking Raiders at Mania.
And you know what? Kind of like a split to take a little split branch off of this. One match that I would love to see to branch off this match right here. To one match that I would love to see, even if it's after WrestleMania, because I believe if Murphy is somewhat the reason that I believe Seth will blame Murphy for losing the titles or in losing the rematch one way or another, even if he's the one that gets pinned. I would love to see a future match with Murphy. I hate that. I hate just Murphy.
I know. I wrote Buddy Murphy on my paper.
I would love to see a match between him and Seth in the future because I think they could light it up.
I think they would light it up. You're definitely. So we both agree we want the smoke in that one.
Exactly. Definitely want the smoke.
Yes, sir. This one I'm really interested in. My brain tells me something, but my heart tells me another. The Intercontinental Championship, we've got Braun versus Shinsuke, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. I'd love to see Braun. My heart says that Braun's going to run over the top of him, and the Monster Among Men is going to be standing tall. He's going to power slam all three of them, and he's going to pin all three of them. And Sami Zayn is going to be on top.
It's ridiculous.
My brain is telling me 3-on-1 that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to retain. Is going to pick up the title again. But I'm a huge fan of Braun Strowman. He's a big man.
So wait, who are you going? Who's your official winner for this match?
Oh, my official. I'm going to go Braun just because I really want to see him lay all three of them out.
And Matt, congratulations. That regained his championship. That'll be interesting.
We are going to take a championship there, homie. You and I, Jacob, yes, we're going to come out and we're going to run through everybody in the leagues. You don't know this, but Jacob and my fandom, basically team's name is the Viking Raiders.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hey, y'all do it. Join the raid. That's a very good question because I don't see him, first of all, losing, unfortunately. But I want Cesaro to be champion. I know he's not the best talker. Maybe, I don't know. In Vince's eyes, he's not the best at running promos. But that's why he has General Sammy right there. Let Sammy be the mouthpiece. And I would love to see Cesaro win the Intercontinental title, which is exactly why it's not going to happen.
Right. I agree. I think they're going to retain, but I think this could be a hell of a match. Like, I loved that music mayhem match that they had, that him and Elias versus Shinsuke and them had. I thought that was just entertaining as all hell. I feel really bad for Shinsuke when he got power slammed into the table and had to have the multiple stitches in the back or multiple staples in the back of his head.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I think that piano was supposed to break. Because if you look at it, that thing just gutted and then stood.
Yeah, something went wrong there.
All right, so we're both on agree. Braun's gonna walk away with that title,
Yeah, 100%.
and I like the fact he's got it because that means I'd like to see him have a good long run.
Yeah, I would like to see him have a long run, but I feel like it's unnecessary to bury all three of those guys in this match. I think to
I'd
have
like
this
to
three.
see I'd like to see them move on because Shinsuke
Yeah.
Nakamura is a hell of a wrestler. Like him
Mm-hmm.
in New Japan, when he was in New Japan and created the King of Strong style character, he was
Mm-hmm.
just running over everybody. He took out Kenny Omega. So I like that idea. Here is a match that I'm not gonna say if it's real or not. I've heard it on Wikipedia. I heard it on the Wrestle Talk podcast this morning. I love them. I listen to them and What Culture Wrestling. What
Mm-hmm.
Culture Wrestling. It's Daniel Bryant and Drew Gulak.
I mean, if it happens, I mean, it seems like a SmackDown. It sounds like a match that would be either on SmackDown. Well, it was on SmackDown, or just for the pre-show match. But if it happens, Daniel Bryan wins 100%. But I love what Daniel Bryan is doing for the guys that don't get in the main stories. I feel like I don't like to say that he's dragging them up into the spotlight, but he's dragging them up in the spotlight pretty much,
Oh yeah, he is
which is great.
absolutely 100% carrying those guys, but
Mhm.
but he's making them look good. Like the match between Bryan and the Fiend, that strap match was just it was all kinds of beautifully brilliant. But
Mhm.
the poor man can take a damn welt.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could find the picture on mine. I would share it of him afterward. He looked beat up. I'm like, dog,
Yeah.
you took an ass whooping. But it worked because, we got the American Dragon Daniel Bryan back, which I love that character.
Mhm.
And the yes came back. Uh, it is absolutely turning into an interesting rivalry.
Mhm.
But I would like to see Gulag come out and go, see, I told him, you take out the legs, you do this. And then have the yes movement kick in and Daniel Bryan get that sort of feeling and
Mhm.
take it out. But I'd
Yeah.
like to see it be a good match.
I would like to see it be. I would hope it would be a good match also.
All
If it
right.
happens.
So now we've come. It's called Elimination Chamber. So I guess we got to have some Elimination Chamber matches. There was reported 3, so we could see one more tomorrow, but I don't see it happening because all
Mhm.
the other championships are set up. So we'll start with the one that I think has the possibility. That would be the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We've got Miz and Morrison taking on the Usos and
Mhm.
New Day Rocks. Heavy Machinery, the Lucha House Party,
Yeah.
and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Um, I mean, they gave Miz and Morrison the titles at Super Showdown, so I
Mhm.
really don't see them dropping them. But I know who I'd like to see pick them up if they do. And this one of these people have been featured very heavily.
Take that.
That's my boy. I love him. Yes, love
Monday.
I'd love to see Otis and Tucker walk out of the chamber with the title, and then Mandy Rhodes come out and slap Ziggler across the face and plant a big hearty kiss on Otis. Hell yes, that is goddamn right. Hashtag. Uh, that's it. We're changing this. This Suplex
Justice
in
for
the
Kobe.
chat. This is it is not hashtag justice for Kofi Mania. That's right, damn it. This is justice for Otis. Um, and I want it to come down to Ziggler and Otis last in the chamber, and Otis just do the biggest caterpillar in the chamber and just drop one on him. And then Mandy comes out, and we see Mandy plant just the biggest kiss on Otis and then slap the fuck out of Ziggler. And then she turns around and slaps uh oh shit, what is Sonya Deville. I don't know why I couldn't think of her name. Slap her across the face. Just or even start that tomorrow night on SmackDown where she slaps her across the face, says, "You know, I was really interested in Otis, and you did this." And just and then at Mania we have Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose with Otis as the special guest referee.
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be
Because
very interesting to see.
because they have been building. This is one of my two favorite storylines across all of wrestling. The other one was the Omega and Hangman Page storyline. This is by far one of my favorite storylines in wrestling. The whole Mandy Rose and Otis thing. I was fucking heartbroken as hell when Otis walked in to the restaurant on Valentine's Day and found her sitting at the table, and you see this depleted look on his face. He drops the flower, and you could just tell he wanted to cry as he walked away. Like I want to see this culminate at Mania, whether it be Ziggler versus Otis or Mandy Rose versus Sonya. This is yeah. So
I will say,
my pick to win this match, as you can tell, is Heavy Machinery, but I think Miz and Morrison will retain.
I don't know. I would like to see Heavy Machinery win, but I do think Miz and Morrison will retain. Only because, well, I think a match versus the Usos will happen in the future. And I think the New Day is going to be out of the tag team picture, for the title picture for a while at least. Lucha House probably not even sure why they're here. And Heavy Machinery, I like, but I have a very creepy feeling. What do you say?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Let us finish this, and we'll get back to that in just a second.
It's kind of I'm kind of leaning into that a little bit myself too because I 100% Sonya because I think Otis got a text or something from Mandy saying that she was running late or he
Mandy Mandy sent a text to Otis saying that she was running late, so he waited a little bit to go to the restaurant.
Exactly.
Turns out Mandy wasn't running late; she was at the restaurant, and Ziggler got there first. So he sat down and they were talking when Otis got there. And then you saw what happened with Otis and Tucker the next week goes, you really hurt my boy. He's at the hotel room. He won't come out. He's really upset. And then later that night, you actually see Mandy getting ready she's calling an Uber, and Ziggler comes up and goes, "Oh, well, my car's here. Ride with me. We're going to the same airport." She goes, "Okay." And then from around one of the moving boxes comes Otis just defeated. He is heartbroken because it happened to him again. But earlier that night, we learned that Sonya did it because she said that Mandy should be with a guy more like Ziggler than Otis. And she looked at him and said, "But I really like Otis. He's a really good guy." So I think and we could see that all culminating here with a Sonya versus Mandy or kind of Ziggler versus Otis with Mandy as special guest referee. So, but I would much rather see him have the title first.
You know what? Only reason why I'm not sure that they will win the title is because personally, I don't think Sonya's doing it alone, and I think she's actually working with Tucker in regards to this. Part of me thinks that Tucker and Sonya are doing this together to keep. I think Tucker wants Otis to keep his eye on the prize, like to be. I think last week hey, the people will never turn their back against you. We're gonna get you back in that ring, man. Like I think Tucker wants Otis to be so focused on wrestling that, and he for the last couple of weeks and months stuff, he's been more indie. So, and then of course I'm not sure why Sonya would be doing it, just because she wants her to be Mandy to be with Ziggler instead. But I can see those two being cahoots together, which could set up a Tucker and Sonya match, Tucker and Sonya versus Mandy and Otis match in Mania, possibly.
Whoa.
But it just depends on how this.
Wow.
That'd be interesting.
Wow.
But I would hate to see.
I would hate to see
Heavy Machinery. I would hate to see them break up because it'll be too reminiscent of how quickly they when Enzo and Big Cass from a couple years ago.
That I agree with. But
that can make sense too.
But I like either way. Let's just get it straight. I like it either way. And I think this is, and then upcoming as our main event, the women main evented WrestleMania this year, which I thought was awesome. It's a step in the right direction for women's wrestling. So yeah, my battery's dying, so we got to wrap this up. Anyways, we got the number one, or the Raw Women's number one contenders match, which I think you and I will both agree is pretty much set in stone. But we got Natalya versus Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler versus Asuka versus Sarah Logan versus Ruby Riott. So it's basically the Riott Squad versus Shayna Baszler, Asuka, and Natalya.
Mm-hmm. And we all know Sarah Logan's gonna win.
Exactly. No. Damn right. Sarah Logan's gonna go on to get the ass whooping from
everybody.
From Becky. No, we both know it's gonna come down in the chamber. It's gonna come down to Asuka versus Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler is gonna make her tap.
And see, I hope she doesn't tap. Because I would love to see that program in the future. Because I think I forgot the Coke. What I can't remember what Shayna calls her clutch, but the Asuka versus.
It's basically the Coquina clutch.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I would love to see them go at each other after. Hopefully, Shayna wins the title, but I don't know. I hope they don't break up Heavy Machinery either. I personally don't want it.
I don't either. I love those guys. Being a big, fat, heavy guy, I love seeing two guys that look like me go out and do it, especially the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar is one of my favorite moves in wrestling because just seeing a big guy do basically Scotty 2 Hotties move is great.
Yeah. And I love how Otis has no shame in his game at all. He'll put that shirt up. Do a little dance like you do the damn thing, Otis.
I'd love to see Heavy Machinery versus New Day for the titles.
That would be nice too.
I think that could be really good. But yeah, you know, it's going to come down to Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is going to take, because it's already reported that after WrestleMania, her and Rollins are going to be taking a break. So
yeah, are they getting married? They're getting married this year, right?
I would believe that's what they're going to do. They're going to get married to, and that's what that's going to be. So I think Shayna Baszler is going to win. She'll go to Mania. She'll have her Mania moment. And then maybe at SummerSlam, Ronda will come back and we'll have Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that'd be a nice thing to see. Maybe Ronda's upset about how Shayna's treating the championship.
Yeah, she went.
Yeah, even though I will say this, even though the match was a little weird this past Monday, I'm a little bit interested. I'm hoping that they're giving Sarah some power, a little power with the whole Riot Squad match that happened this Monday. Maybe we'll probably see it as probably a kickoff match for WrestleMania. And I just
maybe
right. The Riot Squad has so much potential for them to kind of just fizzle out how they did it.
I wanted to see Liv Morgan come out and be Sister Abigail with the Fiend, but
so yeah.
I really did. I kind of liked the turn that they had on the whole Rusev thing with it, but then it just all fell down.
It did. It fell apart whenever I think when Liv Morgan beat Lana, but then Ruby Riott came out looking to help. It looked like she was helping Lana for some reason, but yeah, it fizzled out really bad. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I'd rather not her take out Natalia. I'd rather have her take out somebody like Sarah Logan. Or
With,
maybe, but it is rumored that Asuka's hurt, so maybe something happens. Asuka's on her way to the ring, and Ronda's music hits, and she takes her out, and she goes to there. That
that'd
could,
be very interesting if that happens. Like,
and then we could see Ronda, and then we could see Ronda versus Shayna in the last two, and then we already know Shayna's going to win the Chamber. That's a given. They might as well have done the same thing that Roman did with Goldberg. Who's next? I'm next. And,
yeah, which for the life of me, I understand them wanting to just sell tickets, but wow, so we're not even gonna have any contenders. It's gonna be straight Roman. I mean, I guess we knew it already.
we knew it was going to be
just,
Roman. I mean,
yeah, WWE just said, screw it.
I mean, because come on, we knew Roman is Vince's boy. Let's leave it at that. So okay, last question before we quickly wrap up. Do we see? I've got two for you. Do we see Edge at Chamber? Because that was asked earlier, and I don't think we got a yes or a no.
I don't think so. Only because I don't believe Randy has a presence at Chamber this week. I believe we will see. I believe we might see him on Raw though. Like somehow, some way, Randy might come try to explain what he did to Beth this week, and then you're gonna see Edge come out, and we'll probably have like that fight that everybody that has the locker room clear out and stuff because Edge is so infuriated and stuff, and have security, quote unquote, come out to separate the two apart, screaming back, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." I love it too.
Yeah, I agree with that. You could have the Riot Squad Civil War, and it makes sense that they're all there. I agree with that. Okay, last one before we wrap up. Ronda Rousey, yes or no?
Not no. So not yes or no. I say no.
Okay, well we
I
see.
believe
And then I'm going to ask you this again after the next week when we go live again, because you are obviously going to come back and have to talk to Chamber with me on Thursday. We'll go from SmackDown to the Wednesday Night War of next week. Do we see Ronda before Mania?
No, I think she'll be back Raw after Mania. Especially if Becky is going to be taking Seth. I think it's going to be Ronda coming back to like boost up the ratings for Raw and the women's division.
And personally, I agree with that, but I disagree. I think she might come back, and then they'll do something massive like they do in New Japan, where if Shayna wins, she can give this speech, and then boom, at Mania, Ronda's musical hit, and she'll come out and clock her, and that'll be that.
Okay. When you put it that way, I can see it.
All right. So, Mr. Z-Man, where can people find you on the internet?
Good people, y'all can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Zaddeus Smith. That's ZA2Ds or on Instagram again, ZADDEUS. Or you can find me on the Stardust app doing movie and TV reviews at Retribution Z.
All right. And I was the host with most, Matty-G. You can find me right here on Suplex City Chats. You can find me Saturday nights hosting After Dark. This week we have the one and the only Drew Grant, also known as Video Drew, stopping by to hang out with us for this hour. And you can find me commissioning the Game Zone. So for myself, Matty-G, and the Z-Man, Zaddeus Smith, that was Suplex City Chats. And thank you for tuning in on TMG Entertainment, the heart of debate.
Peace out.